She's an award-winning actress, producer, and director. Now she's starring in a new comedy series playing an empty nester mom on ABC's Call Your Mother. The one and only Kyra Sedwick is with us this morning. Hello, Kyra.
Hi, how you guys doing?
We're doing really well. It's a new year. You've got a new show. And tell us about your character. You're playing an empty nester.
Yes. Okay, so we meet Jean Rains at the Iowa International Airport, and she is boarding a flight to go see her 25-year-old son because she's worried about him because she hasn't heard from him in 4 days. He hasn't called her back, and so she's convinced that something's wrong and that he must meet her desperately. And so she goes to Los Angeles, and she shows up at his apartment door bearing a newly purchased bag of his favorite socks and his favorite toilet paper. And he sees that he's actually doing pretty well. He's got a girlfriend there and a job, and he's good. And so she goes over to see her daughter, who also lives in Los Angeles, who's 23, who's doing a little bit less well. And what was expected to be just a quick trip out to Los Angeles to make sure that her ducks were okay, she ends up staying at an Airbnb and deciding to move to Los Angeles.
So
and
mom can be
so
without
the
her
show is
babies.
really about, yes, exactly. They can't be without her. She can't be without them. That's what she thinks. And so she, and so the show is really about, they're growing up together. They're trying to figure out, like, what is it like as a mom to have adult children? What is it like to as a mom to, like, suddenly be fired from the job that, like, you've been doing, from the time they were little, and trying to figure out what else you want to do with your life and who you want to be, and is there a romance in her life? She's a widow, and then, and also the kids figuring out, like, what's it like to have mom here? Like, we want her, but we don't really want her so much. And, I love the title so much because, like, who doesn't hear the words "call your mother" and have a feeling about it?
That's so right. That's so right. And I mean, all those themes you were talking about, I mean, that sounds like real life. Were you able to relate some of your real life experience into this mom character?
Oh my God, totally. I mean, I think that when, people talk about having children and how amazing it is, it's like no one tells you the dirty little secret that, like, if you do your job well, you get fired.
Right.
And if you do your job well, like, your kids leave, and they don't really need you so much anymore. And then you're kind of like, wow, I thought I had this full-time job that, like, I really loved, and now I'm getting furloughed, so it's brings up a lot of feelings, and a lot of, like, who am I now kind of feelings.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I'm not there yet. My kids still have a while before they leave my nest. But tell me about the cast that you worked with on this show.
The cast is extraordinary. The two kids who play my children are Joey and Rachel Smollett and Joey Bragg, and they're just extraordinary young, very, very funny people, like, just hilarious, and really feel like we had, like, an instant family. Patrick Brommel is an Australian actor who's, like, I can't wait for people to meet this extraordinarily funny, handsome, adorable guy. America's going to fall in love with him. And Sherry Shepherd is my best friend, and she's extraordinary and funny and just, like, the biggest heart and the biggest sweetheart. I think that if we aren't mothers, we can relate to this show because all of us are sons and daughters of somebody. And there's a lot of stuff about the kids and, like, their sibling relationship as well. And, that idea of, like, usually most of us take on roles in the family. Like, there's the serious, responsible one, and then there's, like, the clown, and then there's the one who, like, doesn't take things as seriously, and the responsible one feels mad at the one who has more lightheartedness, So there's a lot of stuff to relate to, and a really good time to laugh.
Well, it sounds like there's a lot of real life themes that we can all relate to. We can't wait to see you up there on our TV screens with that great cast. Thanks so much for joining us this morning, Kyra. Call Your Mother will premiere this Wednesday night, January 19 at 9:30 right here on ABC.